So you said Rob lost one of his phones. Where did he lose it?
Yeah, he lost his phone and we were trying to find it. This was at the gunmakers match. So Edgar and I are trying to FaceTime his phone to see if we can hear it. And it ended up being inside of his Vault-Tec Life Pod.
That was like a
I need to
commercial.
get me one of them.
Yeah. Yeah, tonight's episode of Meet the Pressers is brought to you by Nabisco and
And
Vault-Tec Life Pod.
Meet the Pressers with Matt Mallory and Klint Necro. Brought to you by Public Safety and Education and the Trigger Pressers Union.
Meet the Pressers is brought to you by Mantis X. Mantis X helps shooters suck less. Next Level Training. Makers of CERT training products. Saber Red. Saber Red has been making men and women cry since 1975. Meet the Pressers is also brought to you by these fine companies, shows, and organizations. Thank you.
hello and welcome to Meet the Pressers. I'm Matt Mallory, and this is my awesome co-host, Klint Macro. And we've got a very special guest today. If you haven't been to the show lately, we are about reviews, products, faith, political activism, firearm safety, and everything under the sun when it comes to pressing triggers. So make sure you like, subscribe, share, and all that fun stuff. And Klint, take it away.
Yeah, tonight's special guest is Kerrie Ann Auclair. Auclair.
You did it.
I did it. Auclair. Yeah. Kerrie Ann is she's the Massachusetts Director of Women for Gun Rights. Some of you may remember Women for Gun Rights in its previous brand DC project. She's also heavily involved with the Gun Owners Action League, as well as the Well-Armed Woman or the Armed Women of America now. A whole host of things. She's an educator, she's an advocate, and she's more than welcome to the show. It's great to have you here tonight.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad to see you guys again. That's awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so give us that was a reasonably lame introduction. If you would want to give us like the elevator speech about how you got into what you're doing here right now. What led you to this point in your life?
Well, it is kind of funny because I was one of those. I was just talking to somebody the other day and thinking about my past when I was a kid and stuff. And I was not in a family where guns were in my household. In fact, my father was a Vietnam vet, but he's very much against civilians having guns, which I can understand because he's been through some really tough times. But I never was I never had a family that was involved in guns. And then one day my husband heard a story that was really horrifying, and he worked third shift, and he's like, we need to get a firearm. So I feel more comfortable that we're protecting ourselves and you're protecting our family. So I did. We had it for a couple of years, and then something happened with my kids being at a friend's house, and the kid was trying to find the key to get into the gun box. And that really freaked me out. And so from that point on, I started educating myself crazy. Went on YouTube channels, found Kelly Pigeon, and Kelly Pigeon actually led me to the Well-Armed Woman. And so I decided to start a chapter in Massachusetts. We're the only chapter in Massachusetts. So I just hit my 5th year anniversary. So that's really great. I'm very excited about it. I didn't realize, to be honest with you, when I started this whole journey and started trying to educate myself just for my family and for my sake, being a responsible gun owner, a responsible mom, I didn't realize where I was going to end up. I didn't realize that when I started, the Well-Armed Women of the Armed Women of America, I had no idea what was coming. And I remember having that first meet and greet, April 8th, 2019. And the women that came up to me, and I have goosebumps thinking about it. They were women that came up to me saying, I've been in a domestic violence situation. I was part of a you know, a horrible crime, a bank robbery. It was, you know, the stories that I heard, and they were like, I've been looking and waiting for this to happen. I've been looking and waiting for a group to start so I can feel more
Wow.
comfortable and confident with my firearm. And I'm just so excited you're here. And so 5 years later, the stories don't stop. And I realized that, you know, I can't give this up. And then I just went from here, there, and everywhere. So then I started advocating, part of the DC project, Women for Gun Rights Now. And I realized that we don't have, if we don't protect our civil rights, we are not going to protect with the very thing that protects us as women. And I don't want to say women, and I don't want to sound sexist when I say that, but you know, when you meet a woman that's literally 4 feet tall and 110 pounds, you realize that when she puts a gun on her hip, it creates such an equalizer for her, protecting her and her family. And when she walks away from our meetings and she has a smile on her face and she says, I now feel comfortable, I feel confident, and I'm so happy that I've met you. Or when like 3 years later, you don't even know that this woman has a story, and all of a sudden, when she feels comfortable, she tells the story and she says, oh my God, I can't believe this class helped me so much. I feel so confident now. I feel so much better. And she tells her story. And I said to her, congratulations, because you're not a victim anymore. You are now a survivor. So
It's therapeutic.
congratulations. Yep. And she cried and she texted me later and she said, I cannot tell you how much this means to me. And I'm like,
Wow.
you did it. You did it by finding us, by finding someone that you feel comfortable with to train. And it's all about education, not legislation. And so when you go forward and you find somewhere where you feel comfortable with, and that's all I want. If it's not with me, go find someone else. Go find someone else, because education really is truly the key to safety, firearm safety. And we're trying to do our very best with educating everybody we can, but it's only one chapter.
I
In
think one
essence.
of the one of the profound things you said there too is, you know, they found you guys, they found somebody comfortable to train with, but they also found the courage to do that. That's
Yep.
the I had there was a local execution at a Chili's restaurant locally here in 2018-19, and the next lady to be executed,
Sorry.
she ended up coming and taking the 4-hour handgun safety course from me 2 years ago. So
Mm.
4 years after it happening, she was a recluse. She you know, she didn't want to get out of the house. She didn't want to be around people. But 4 years later, she realized that, you know, it's the gun isn't, it's just a tool, and the evil out there can still hurt her. So she wanted to get her pistol license, and her and the manager of the store that was executed, he actually got shot and died. They both came and took the class together. And
Ugh.
it took her 4 years though to come out of that, you know, that shell of being scared of the world. And it took, you know, it's courage.
Yep. And I think every person, whether you're a man or a woman, it depends on when you're ready. And that's, you will never know when that moment happens. And it just happened to be during one of the classes that I was doing. I was doing a USCCA mini class. I don't remember what it was now. I think it was on home defense, and it just, that was the point.
Litmus. Yeah.
Yep. And it was just something, it was so profound to witness, and it made me so proud of her
Mhm.
that she really
Awesome.
took that step. So, you know, and then years later, now I'm part of the Gun Owners Action League. So I'm the women's program assistant, the advocacy director, and I keep getting different tasks added on to me, which I'm really excited about, because I never, you know, when you wake up and you say to yourself, I'm not working. Am I really working? Because
Mhm.
you love what you do, and
Yeah.
you do what you love. And I really truly can't wait to get up and start a new project. You know, I can't wait to get up and have, like, you know, a club call me up and say, I want to start a women's program. How can I do that? What do I do? How do I do this? You know, so to be part of that process and be part of that, you know, getting up and advocating
Mm.
has been a very scary thing for me, because I'm not, I love teaching, but when you get up in front of a bunch of representatives or senators and you're like, I shake, my heart's pounding out of my chest. And then I
Everybody.
realize, yep, it's because I'm the voice for those that can't. I'm the voice for 73 women that are part of my chapter. I'm the voice that for the people that don't know how to advocate. I'm trying to protect our civil rights for everybody. And so when you get up and you testify, it's a scary thing for me
Yeah, it is.
at this moment.
It is.
So
Yeah, it's interesting to see the background of our clients that we have, you know, and instructors a lot of times, especially those that are coming at it more of like gun instructor, they're gun people anyhow, and they kind of discount the fact that pretty much anyone we train as a first-time gun owner that's an adult, there is probably a long backstory that led them to that decision of coming to class. You know, if they grew up in a house that had guns and stuff, they would have been doing this probably years and years ago. And I think a lot of times too, instructors will really want to rely and lean on their background and what they're about, but that doesn't matter. All that matters is what that student does at the end of the day, how empowered they feel to carry on with that training journey, or for them to say, you know what, I am worth protecting.
Right.
And that's huge. And hearing some of the stories that you had mentioned, Kerrie Ann Pigeon, she's just up the road from me. I call her sis. She reminds, like, if my sister were alive, I had a sister that was born many years before I was. They'd have been about the same age, so I kind of think she's like my sister. But
she got me on this road, you know.
yeah,
If
she's
it
done that
wasn't
with a
for
lot of
her,
people.
yep. And I'll never forget it because I literally was watching her YouTube channel like every single day, because ever since that happened with my kids, I'm like, oh no, I need to educate myself. I need to know everything. And I just became obsessed with it. And then one day I sent her a private message, and it was 10 o'clock at night, sitting on, I think it was a Friday, in fact. And I sat there and I was texting her about something, and she texted me back. I'm like, oh, she texted me, you know, I was like, oh my God, you know. And then I ended up going from, you know, you should start a chapter, you should do this, you know, and it just became something. So
Yeah.
she really got me involved in this. And I thank her so much from the bottom of my heart, because, you know, there's a lot of people that are, you know, when I first started, I didn't know who the peeps were. I didn't know who the players were. I didn't know who the big wigs were. And it really didn't matter to me, because I'm like, hey, we're all in this together. Oh,
absolutely.
look, that's so-and-so. I don't know who that so-and-so is, you know, and I felt like an idiot, but, you know, but at the same time, it was actually kind of, you know, it was good, because I wasn't like starstruck. I just looked
Right.
at that person as like, wow, they're really crazy. Like, that's amazing, the stuff that they're doing. And it was Lena Mitchell, Lena.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, I didn't know anything about her, because why would I? Wasn't in that world at that moment. And now it's like, wow, this is crazy. So I met some amazing people that have been such a huge part of my life and my journey. And
Awesome.
you know, they might never have known it, and they probably will never know it, because I watched them and they've never met me, but they are part of that journey.
Yeah,
So
it's a nice community overall. Pretty much
Absolutely.
everyone I've met in this space has been very supportive. You know, my background's in music, obviously, and you go talk to musicians, and never do they say, "Hey, you want to play my guitar?" That never happens. But you know, you'll be around a gun guy. Hey, you want to shoot my gun? I don't have any ammo. Well, here, you have mine.
yeah.
So there's a lot of giving in this community. I think, largely speaking. Of course, there's individuals here and there in every industry that sometimes are a little less giving, but I think most of the people in this community are very, very supportive of one another, and we're all educators, and we want to help our fellow Americans exercise their right. You know, I think most of us believe that the more responsibly armed Americans there are, the stronger our country is, and that's why
Agreed.
we're doing it. You know.
Yep. I wish I found this family a lot sooner, because I feel like
Absolutely.
I'm not lost, you know, like I figured out where I belong.
Well,
Yeah,
I
I have to say, I'm cutting you off again, Matt. Go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good.
Kerrie Ann, when she came, I think I certified her for refuse to be a victim instructor. I'm pretty sure that's when I first met her. And
That's
she came in and she was, you know, a little quirky, and I'm like, okay. And she got up and did her teach backs. I'm like, wow, why don't you teach me how to do this? Yeah. Yeah, she's a force of nature, man. And talk about someone that's been very pivotal in getting people to do more. Like, she's really good at pushing people, you know, maybe in front of a bus, maybe in front of a camera, maybe in front of a microphone, but she's good at
in front of a bus.
Yeah.
Well, I think that, you know, the DC project, Women for Gun Rights, I think when we go to DC once a year, I feel like it's a family reunion because we're not, there's no competition. We're here to do the same. We're all in it for the same mission, regardless of what state. Some states are worse than others, like Massachusetts. We don't even go there.
Mhm.
But we go there and we help each other out, no matter what level we're at, because we don't know everything. And if
Right.
you know everything, just fold it up, give it up.
Yeah.
Just
Retire.
say you're done, retire, because that's kind of a crappy thing to think that you know it
Agreed.
all.
Agreed.
But when you go there, it's like a family reunion. You help each other out. You hear the different stories or different things that they're going through, and it's phenomenal. And I look forward to it every year. So,
How'd you end up working over with John Green and Jim Wallace?
do you really want to know?
Yeah,
It is a
Did you-
family show.
it is a
So,
family show. Yeah,
It
so
is a family show. So, so like I said, when I started the Armed Women of America, we obviously needed to get credentialed to get this started. And so the range that we were at, they said, "Oh, you should definitely meet with John Green, and he'll get you going. He'll help you get, certified and everything else." So that's what he did. And so John was the main person that educated me, educated all my co-leaders, my leadership team.
Nice.
Anybody that comes on, I do not want them to be trained by anyone else but John. So we're all on the same page with their training. And so as we moved forward, then I became part of the DC project, and Jim Wallace called me up that night and said, "Whatever you need, kid, whatever you need." He goes, "This is because I was advocating. So when you get in this world and you're just advocating, it's different than learning about the legislative part and understanding it, because it's very, very confusing. And a lot of people's like, "Oh, hell no, I don't understand what you're talking about. I'm done. I'm out," And
Mhm.
I'm like, "Nope, I'm not out. I don't care how stupid I sound when I ask a question. And if you're gonna look at me thinking I'm a stupid, well, go away and and I'm not gonna swear." But they never made me feel
Let it out.
stupid. They were like, "What do you need? What can I do?" And he, John, Jim, everybody at Goal, Mike, Angie, they were all a huge part of my education. So going fast forward 3 years later, last summer, I rolled my ATV doing a donut
Yeah, we
and
saw the
landed on,
photos.
yeah, I landed on my foot, and I got a very bad crushing injury, and I was out of commission. I was self-employed, didn't have any funds coming in,
Mhm.
and the one thing that I was like, they all knew, and this horrible bill came up, and they're like, "Kerrie can help us out. She can help us out from the couch," and they hired me. And I
Cool.
just I couldn't believe it. Like 3 weeks, 4 weeks later, he called me up and like, "We want to hire you to help us out." And I said, "Yep." I
Oh,
didn't even hesitate. And
it's awesome.
so now, I'm hitting my almost my year anniversary, July 31st.
Has it been that long?
Yeah.
Wow. Time
So
flies when you're having fun,
Oh,
right?
right?
yeah,
From
and
the couch.
from the
Yeah.
couch. And honestly, bad things can happen, but good things come out of it. And I'm so thankful for being where I'm at. So it was like I was being trained by Jim. So it just made sense. It all made sense. So
Yeah,
You know,
I first met those guys back, oh, it must have been 2016. They were part of a focus group, and I was part of that group. We were doing like an update to NRA Basic Pistol right around the time of the whole blended thing when that came out. And John and I hit it off. He's very likable. I can't imagine John would not be friendly to. He's friendly to everybody. I've never seen him like be mean or upset. But Jim
you
Wallace.
muzzle somebody, it might be a whole different
Oh
story.
yeah. I'm sure that's a thing. Yeah, he's very
Yeah.
serious about that, as we all should be. But it was right at the time I first got on the board of Firearms Owners Against Crime in Pennsylvania, and so that's a similar group to Goal, in Massachusetts,
Oh, okay.
and we're the state level Second Amendment organization here in PA. But Jim was talking to me, and we were talking about endorsing someone for NRA board, and I said, "Oh yeah, we're endorsing someone for NRA board," and he says, he says, who is it? And I said, well, actually, I don't know the name. And he says, you probably should know the name of someone you're endorsing. And I remember that to this day. Every time I think of somebody that we're working with and I can't remember their name, I can remember him saying, you probably should remember the name of the person.
I could hear it in my head, him saying that too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
No,
yeah, John, I had the honor of certifying him as a DSF instructor. That was kind of
Nice.
oh, really?
yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
He had some of my range art hanging up in the classroom. I don't know if it's still there. There was a target with a bunch of
so-
scribbling on it. And
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. So we moved to a new office. So we
back,
got a
the
brand
back closet.
yeah. Ah, so
The
we
back
got
door.
yep. I think I did see it. So we got a brand new office. We got a brand new classroom now. So
Nice.
I'm actually going to start doing some I got a refuse to be a victim class that I'm doing a pepper spray class for a
Nice.
range. So I'm getting a lot of I can't tell you how excited I am. I got my own business that I'm doing stuff with too, and and I'm doing the National Trainer Teachers Day. This will be my 3rd year coming.
Yeah.
Last year I had to miss it,
Great.
but I just think it's so important to be part of the community. I work for the town hall. I'm a conservation clerk. I just recently did candidates night, and the reason why I'm saying I'm doing all this stuff is because I think it's super important to realize that
Get involved.
get involved with your community, because
Mhm.
when I did candidates night, I do it for a reason. When I volunteer as a PTO, when I volunteer as a, on the school council, there's all reasons that I'm doing this. I
Mhm.
want people to know who I am. I want people to realize what I do. I want people to know that I'm a parent. I'm a mom of 2. I want them to see me, because if
Yeah.
they see me, when I do come up to them and say, hey, I'm doing this National Trainer Teachers Day. It's pepper spray. You interested? Oh yeah, I've been watching you. Yeah, I am. Tell me more. Tell me more. That's what I want.
Yeah.
So
That's good.
when people see me and I go have a meeting with a representative or hey Kerrie, how you doing? How's the family? That's what I want.
Mhm.
I want people to realize that I am not the bad guy. This is what gun ownership looks like for
Yeah.
me, and I'm here to educate you. What do you need to know? Because
So, it sounds like you're getting ready to run for president at some point.
oh God.
Dun, 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 dun.
Now,
You can do that you can actually run for president from your
from the
basement.
couch. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
the
from the
basement.
couch.
There you go.
In
The
the basement.
basement. I like that. Somebody else did, right? 4 more years.
Oh,
Pause.
don't get me started.
Did you hear that one?
No,
Yeah,
yeah,
the
what?
pause thing.
It was
Yeah,
4 more years.
Oh, yeah.
Pause.
he was reading the
Pause.
direction
You
on
read
the
the
prompter. Yeah.
teleprompter. Wow.
Somebody
Anyway,
should sell tickets. Yeah.
Oh yes, somebody should sell tickets. It's
so you're
ridiculous.
you're doing the Saber pepper spray class, right?
I'm very excited. Yes, because I
That's
haven't.
awesome.
Yep. So I'm really digging I even got an ammo license. Yay.
Nice. Good.
Yep.
So
Yep.
just to give some background there, how was that 2 years ago? You hosted me. You had me come out and do the pepper
Yeah, I was
spray
going to say,
instructor.
who is your master instructor for Saber?
Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yep.
I recently, and Klint, I think but Kerrie Ann, I let you know, I just got promoted to a senior master instructor for Saber,
Ooh.
and I certified 12 master instructors at the USCCA headquarters on a Monday and Tuesday. Or
Nice.
Tuesday
Yeah.
and Wednesday. Yeah,
So
Tuesday.
as a senior master, just like a 3D printer, he can just go and make an instructor like that.
Yeah.
Ta-da,
Or,
like,
or
you know,
to make a
fairy dust,
master
couple wings.
instructor.
Yep. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
Yeah.
Well,
So
congratulations.
yeah.
That's so
thank you.
cool.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very
it's
nice,
pretty
Matt.
cool. So it's
Yep.
it's a onward and upward, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
you put a lot of time in with Saber and
Yeah.
garnered that relationship. I became a master instructor a number of years ago when Matt did, and that was all due to the legwork that Matt had done for us with Saber for the show. Actually, if it wasn't for Matt's work with the show, I don't think Saber would have come on as a sponsor for National Trainer Teacher Day. So,
Right.
I
And-
appreciate that, Clint.
yeah,
And I
no,
think it's
I appreciate it, Matt.
I appreciate everything you guys do. Honestly, it's amazing. And I think that, when we have like shows like this or doing, other shows with other people, it's really in my opinion, the main mission is to really spread awareness everywhere we possibly can.
Yeah.
that's why Renee and I started a YouTube channel called Sisters in Arms, a Firearms Story.
Yeah.
And we just did the 37th episode.
So
So
been going pretty good.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
how did you land that really nice TV studio?
Yeah.
So it's kind of strange because I started a YouTube channel, and it was called Kerrie Ann's Freedom Channel. And I'm gonna do something with it, but I'm not exactly sure yet what I'm gonna do. And so um so Renee and I had been interviewed from the Taunton newspaper, so the Taunton Gazette. And so we met the guy at a breakfast place or something. And next thing you know, the article comes out and it says Sisters in Arms, right? That was the article. And we were talking about, I said, Renee, I can't get this channel up and going. You want to do something? Let's do something. And so she's like, all right. So she met Pete from the street from Taunton, who does he has his own little channel at the Community Access channel there.
Is that the name of his show, Pete from the Street?
Pete on the street. Yep.
Like community
Pete on the
access,
street.
like Wayne's World?
Yeah, Wayne's World.
Wayne's World.
Party
Now we're
time. Oh my
dating
God.
ourselves.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
So he had us on his show, and then we saw the studio. I'm like, well, this is really cool. And she lives in, in a town that they would accept. So we signed up and we started using the studio. It's
That's
really
awesome.
good. It's just we can't really promote for profit, which but we work around it. So they give us the video. I upload it, put it on our channel. I edit a few things, and there you go. So it really is professional looking, and they've been really, really cool. It's kind of surprising because it is a gun-free zone when we walk in. So I'm like, we're trying to work on them, and we keep trying to have these shows, and so we're working it.
Incrementalism does work. It takes
Yep.
time, and it's the relationship building, like you were talking about before.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we've had some really amazing guests. I mean, Mike Sedini from Walk the Talk America. We've had so many people on, and there you go. Children's Safe Foundation.
Yeah.
And God, I mean, so many people. It's just crazy. We're very fortunate to be able to send awareness or bring awareness here to Massachusetts, because as you know, we're going through this horrible bill right now. And it's very egregious, and it's in committee right now behind closed doors. We have no say. We just have to wait, and we have no idea what they're going to do. They're taking the House bill, they're taking the Senate bill, and they're talking about it, and then they're gonna here you go, and we have no idea. We're
Well,
blind.
you're a good example of when you say get involved, you're doing so many different things, and I'm trying to like remember half of what you said that you do, but when it comes to getting involved on the political side, a lot of people they piss and moan and they gripe about what happens and the votes that happen, but then you ask, well, who'd you vote for? Well, I don't vote. Well, you
Yeah.
don't vote, or you don't get involved. I mean, you got to get involved. You got to do stuff. You got to call your representatives. You got to tell them how you feel. You have to go and vote. You have to try to get other people to vote. And then also, if you really want to change it more, you got to actually get into politics, which is probably at some point what I'm going to end up having to do, because I'm sick and tired of living in New York and dealing with these commies running the state.
Yeah, you'll be good at hugging hands and shaking babies.
Crossing I's and dotting T's.
Yeah. No, I could see you running for office. I think you'd be a respectable candidate.
Well,
You're a man of
I
the
think
earth.
so.
You're a farmer.
A
You're
man of the earth. I
There he
love
is.
it.
Yes, man of the earth.
Man of the earth, the man of the cloth, and I have a holster.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You may not want me as your campaign manager, but I'll certainly help.
Yeah.
I was asked to help someone with a campaign to be on their team officially, and I said, you might want to look at my IMDb credits and look at some of the records I've made.
You might want to reconsider
Yeah,
that.
you're like, I'll help you in all way, but I don't want to be a hindrance either.
It's a sticky situation.
Oh, yeah, no, I've been very keen to exercise my First Amendment right and help everyone else exercise their First Amendment right as well as their second.
There you go.
But
Yep.
yeah, but I would certainly do whatever I could to help your campaign, Matt.
There you go.
Yeah.
My wife would.
I
My
would too.
wife wouldn't approve.
Oh yeah, it's a lot, and
It is.
It's a lot, and it's very frustrating because right now in Massachusetts, this is what I get. So, I just actually started doing some more social. So I'm kind of like so goal, excuse me,
Mhm.
is giving me the reins to do some more social media on Facebook, and I did like a 6-month online course for digital marketing. So I'm kind of
Wow.
excited to do
Mm.
That's
that. That
awesome.
was a while ago before goal came, and I didn't know where I was going. So I'm excited because I'm able to use that a little bit. So, but
That's
what
great.
I'm finding is as I'm posting certain things like, hey, we're at the State House, look at what we're, not look what we're doing, but it's important to let them know, the Commonwealth.
Yeah.
Goal is working for you. Here we are at the State House. Goal is working for you. Here we are meeting with, Senator Lovely. We're doing all these things because we want you to be like, hey, I got to do something. But
Mhm.
then I'm hearing people make comments. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't matter. Our voices don't matter. It
That's what
doesn't
they
matter
want.
who you're
That's what
voting
they
for.
want you to think, man.
Exactly.
Yep.
Mhm.
So I get so irritated when I hear that, and I get it. Yes. Did we have this whole, I'm not going into Trump and Biden and everything and voting but did we have issues with the voting? Yeah, I'm sure we did. We obviously did. Now you got the
Right.
mail-in ballots. Now you got, early ballots. Now and I work for elections. So I know all that. I know the process for that. I've been doing it for almost 10 years.
Wow.
But it's completely frustrating when you see people and the neighbors around you that say, I don't vote because it doesn't matter. Oh,
Yeah, that's what the tyrants want you to think.
right.
And it's working for a lot of our gun
Yeah.
owners, and they just need to get out and vote for the proest gun candidate on the ballot.
That's it.
And there may
Right.
not be a perfect one,
No,
but you
there's
got to
never a
look at
perfect
which
one.
one is the best and vote for it,
Right.
because not voting is a vote for the winner.
That's it.
Right. If you're not voting, then don't bitch. I
Right.
don't want to hear you
Exactly.
bitch.
So
I'm tired of hearing it.
a good example of this too to people here in New York, and I'll tell them, and we had this new CCA Concealed Carry Improvement Act that went into effect in September. So it went into effect in September, and then the law or the election was in November. And I'm thinking, okay, September, this is going to go into effect. And every 3 years, people from Westchester County down through New York City and Long Island have to do the 18-hour course to renew their license every 3 years. So they have to do 18 hours of training every 3 years to keep their pistol license. I'm thinking, there's no way she's going to win. Anybody that has a gun in Westchester down through Long Island isn't going to vote for her. Why would they vote for her? I mean, she's literally making you do training every 3 years and pay an exorbitant amount of money for the training and the recertification of your
That's
license.
discrimination.
Yeah. And I'm
Yeah.
thinking, we're going to win. And we got 5 million gun owners in New York State, and less than 3 million people voted against her.
Yep.
Oh,
I'm
So-
sure we have comparable numbers in each one of
Yeah.
our states. Yeah.
It's like, you're kidding me. 5 million gun owners. We should have wiped the slate with her. Like,
Yep.
if every gun owner voted against her, there's no way she would have won.
right.
But then you got the FUDs that are like, oh, who needs
The
an
FUDs.
assault rifle?
Yeah.
Ah.
And we have
first
in
it stands for
Pennsylvania,
arm light.
we have the damn union people that my union tells me to vote this way. It's like,
Oh yeah,
Really?
they're getting bullied.
Yeah.
Organized crime.
yeah.
Union.
It's awful. It really is awful, and it
Yeah.
frustrates me. But that's why, as scared as I get when I go to the State House and testify, I'm literally shaking, and my words are coming out. I can't. I have to go up. I have to.
Mhm.
I have to.
I was going to
I-
tell you, just picture them all naked, but that'd probably make you shake more. So don't do that.
Or no, you see a room full of them and just think it's just a bunch of one. It's like that recording console. People are like, how do you know all those channels? Hey, if you know one channel, it's just a bunch of one channel. So
Yep,
when
it's
you look
just-
at a room full of people, it's just a bunch of one person.
Yep, and I'm getting better. I'm getting more comfortable. I mean, I have no problem one-on-ones anymore. It's like,
Nice.
and we went through. So Massachusetts is absolutely crazy, and we went to Representative Michael Day. He did listening tours in Massachusetts, so
Mm.
he did 11 listening tours. So
Did he
it's like-
actually listen, or did he just
No.
kind of, and
No.
then did his own
Wow.
thing?
But I went to 9 out of 11.
Well,
I-
that certainly must have caught his attention, or at least his staff's
Oh
attention.
yeah. Yeah, it was really cool because when I went to the State House, I saw his staffer, and I walked by, and he kind of pretended like he didn't see me, and I did one of these. Not like that aggressive, but I made sure he saw me.
Yeah.
And he said, "Hi, how you doing?" Hi, here I am in the state house.
Again.
Yeah, it's neat to hear you say that, like, I got to do it. I was talking to someone the other day we had a rally in Harrisburg not too long ago, and I was talking to another advocate, someone also has a podcast and is pretty public, and he was like, we were talking about how sometimes, like, we've been threatened by gun owners, threatening us, like threatening our body and our lives because we're at one certain, piece of legislation or something, we're anti-gun according to them, and all the crazy stuff that we've had to deal with anti-gun people threatening our lives and stuff. Big events all wear body armor. And it's because we've been threatened by all these different things. And we started to get into that kind of bitch fest mode, where we're just kind of unloading. And I said, you know what? Keeping this here between us, this is actually very therapeutic. And he says, yeah, sometimes I think, man, who am I working so hard for when, gun owners don't seem to appreciate it. They don't want to be engaged. They don't seem to give a damn. And I said, I like to think of Tim Schmidt from the USCCA. If it's to be, it's up to me. Like, who else is going to do it, dude?
Yeah.
And if we continue to do it, then we can motivate others to join. And we've all probably certainly had some people that we brought into the fold that got motivated to continue that. But I will say to you, if ever you need to unload and have a bitch fest or vent about being an advocate, by all means, my phone's available. It was actually very therapeutic, and it was nice. At the end, it was like, yeah, all right, let's go back out there and do it.
Yep. It really is important. And I think, and I think unfortunately, I get very emotional when I get up there and testify. I really, really, truly do. And it's not, I don't have like a survival story. I don't have one of those stories. I have tons of them because they're all the women that tell me their stories, and it's here, it's in my soul, So when I get up there, I'm thinking of all these things. I'm thinking of my daughter, I'm thinking of my son, I'm thinking of their kids, I'm thinking of their future, I'm thinking of our futures. If you take that Second Amendment away from us, how dare you? How freaking dare you do that to me and the future of my children, and take that away from me, from protecting myself and these ladies not being able to protect themselves. They don't hear those stories. They don't, and that's what I'm trying to do. I want to walk into the room and I want to say, hey, did you ever think of this? Hey, let's have a conversation. Did you know this? And that's what I told a woman at the last meeting that I had. I actually said, I recently received an email from a woman that was in a domestic situation, and she was bouncing back and forth to one house to another house with her child because she was afraid. She was in a domestic violence situation and she was red flagged and her guns were taken away. Now, I don't know the whole story. I don't know the details. I don't understand, but the point being is these are real stories, and it broke my heart to hear that. And all I could do is give her the information that I could to try to help her. And I don't know, I haven't heard, I don't know, and that breaks your heart too, because, it's, you wonder, you wonder. And you hope that, all that we do to educate with shows like this and, the DC Project, Arm Women America, Sisters in Arms, you hope that somebody is hearing something and they learn something, and they take that and they either got educated and became wiser for that, or they actually saved their lives, or maybe they spoke to someone else and that person saved their lives. So it's a trickle effect.
Yeah, I don't think Matt and I hear those stories as much as like I'll hear, you've told some stories here, Kerrie Ann, I've worked a lot with Beth Alcazar and others. Women will confide with other women. I've certainly had women come to me in class and like thank me for helping them in their journey, and maybe share with me that they had some type of issue that led them to this point. But we typically don't, women typically don't open up that way to us as male instructors and mentors as they do with the other female instructors. So I think that puts you in a very special, unique place to be able to share those stories so readily.
Yeah, and it's I just had a home firearm safety class like maybe 2 months ago, and I had a student who was a friend of mine actually came. She sat down and I said, okay, so this is what's going to happen. It's a home firearm safety class. Once it's done, after the class is completed, we offer live fire, and she started crying.
Mm.
I'm so scared. I'm like, I didn't expect that. I'm like, and all of the women in the room, like, didn't like gather over to her. They just turned and said, okay, so what? Tell us. By the end of the day, she was smiling and happy, and she was like
Mm.
giving me a hug, and she was so excited because she shot that gun and she had so much fun. And look, at I did that.
That's
I
awesome.
did,
Empowerment.
Yep. And that's what women do. And so it's really empowering to see women helping other women and being part of the On Women of America, but it's and the DC project. But it's really empowering when you see other ladies now jump up and say, hey, I want to be an RSO. Hey,
Yeah.
I want to be an instructor. What can I
Yeah.
do? What can I do? Okay, go see John Green.
You know, so
and
it's
now I
that
got
old
a leadership team of women that are helping other women. It's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
that's awesome. It's that old saying, like, you don't know what you don't know. And I think sometimes us as instructors, all three of us, just having students in the class that come to us in some sense because they have to, like in New York State, to get their license, or, they come to us to become an instructor, like Klint and I teach with the SABR and NRA and USCCA. And, that sometimes they're forced to us because of government. Sometimes they're forced to us just because of, their life and their what's going on in their life. And I love it, and I'm sure you guys do too, just to open that mindset up for the students, and just have them realize that there's a lot more out there. And I always try to challenge my students, anybody that's in my classes, that no matter how much I teach you, there's still more to learn.
Oh
And
yeah.
I always want them to come back to me, of course, but I tell them, just seek out that knowledge, because even like Clinton, I mean, we got Tom Gibbons. We're hosting Tom Gibbons. Good time to give a plug to Tom, right?
Yes.
So in August, we're hosting Tom Gibbons for his 3-day instructor course, his 3-day pistol instructor course
Right here in
Western
Pennsylvania.
PA.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow,
Yeah, so
nice.
we got that coming up. Always trying to take classes from other instructors, and then next week I'll be with you in Eastern PA doing the USCCA AR-15 fundamentals class.
Oh,
Yeah.
That instructor
nice.
class. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice.
It's
I
always
love
nice.
it.
It's always nice to have Matt as a student.
Yep.
Yeah.
I do think that as an instructor, I have to balance it out and give myself some time to practice too.
Yeah.
Like tomorrow I'm doing a defensive class with John actually,
Cool.
Nice.
and helping him out and doing so. I'm really excited because it gives me it gives me a lot of opportunities. But I think as instructors, we have to remind ourselves that we have to give ourselves time to train as well.
Yeah.
And with
Absolutely.
other people, because we learn, we're so used to doing our things and we forget that, hey, and then you
Yep.
go take another class with somebody else and you're like, I never thought of that. Like Beth Alcazar came and did a fundraising event for us, the women's program for the USCCA.
Mhm.
What is it called? Women's
Women's Handgun and Self-Defense
Yeah.
Fundamentals.
Yep.
Yep. And she actually came to Mansfield Fishing Game and she did a fundraiser for us for the DC project. It was great.
Wow.
And
That's
I
awesome.
learned a ton, excuse me. I learned a ton watching her. And I got a lot of awesome tips from her. Just,
Good.
so every person has a special gift.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Have
I
we
was
all
just,
taught at Mansfield Fishing Game?
yeah,
You've taught there.
I
Did you,
have.
Matt?
That was a SABR class I did. Yeah.
Oh,
That's
okay.
a,
Yeah.
that's
I've
a nice
done a couple
class.
classes.
Nice.
Yeah.
We had
That's a
somebody
nice class.
come from New York and Maine. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
It was awesome.
So
Yep.
I was just at the Girl in a Gun conference in Colorado last week, and I was teaching there. And it's funny because there's like 200 instructors from all over the country, 700 women at this event. And I'm just one. Yeah, it's huge. And I'm just one of the instructors. This is our 13th year of doing it. And I'm sitting there watching some of the other instructors. I'm like, yeah, that's cool how they said that. And then I'm like, damn, I wish I could take their course. I'm like, I got to run back and teach my courses. So 6 courses, 75 women in 3 days is what I had, and every instructor was doing that. So it was a fun event. But talking about seeing other instructors teach and learn, glean things. I'm just watching an instructor finish up their class, and they say one way of saying something, and I'm like, I like how they said that. That actually, that's pretty
I'll
cool.
steal from Michael Martin. He says all instructors are good thieves.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Say that.
Yep. We call it Robin Hood.
Robin. Yeah, speaking of that event, I actually had the honor of teaching an instructor class that Tatiana Whitlock came and audited, and she sat through the whole thing, did teach backs, and
Nice.
wow, she's a powerhouse too.
Yeah, she is
Man,
good.
what a
She's actually having me come up to Maine in August. I'll be doing the saber pepper spray instructor course for her in Maine at her place.
Oh, nice.
good. Yeah.
I haven't had the opportunity to meet her. I've seen
Uh,
her online multiple times in
Uh,
like things
just
like
an
this.
amazing presence, just commanded authority yet, but was very, very nurturing.
And here's
She was just amazing. I mean, I had a pretty high expectation just because of her rep,
yeah,
but she totally delivered on that and then some.
yeah,
But I'm going to be going back up there to do the AR class. I'm
nice.
going back up the Howells, and I'm actually doing seminars at the NRA annual meeting in Texas, and then I'll be flying from there directly up to Maine, and then I'll come back home. That's going to be a
Yep.
long,
Yeah,
a long
A
little
long haul.
Monsters of
be-
Rock tour. Yeah.
We'll be interviewing Chuck Liddell, the MMA fighter, down in at the NRA's annual meeting too.
Oh, wow.
We got
Nice.
him slated.
So I'm gonna have to fly with a rifle and a bunch of camera gear. So
Fun times there.
yeah, yeah.
Yep.
So what
Cool.
else? What else do you have going on as far as classes, event? Here you can talk about your for-profit stuff if you like.
Yes, you can.
So my for-profit, my side business is called Ways to Be Empowered. So that's my own instructor business. You know, I don't really have, I pretty much teach wherever, but
Mhm.
my home range is pretty much Mansfield. But I'm not as active as I want to be with that because I'm starting to do a lot more things and training with goal as well, and which is all good. It's all good. Um, and then of course, just dealing with not dealing, but doing with women for gun rights. We're not sure if we're going to DC, when we're going to DC. So dealing with that part, trying to figure out our schedule is what I'm saying,
Mhm.
can be challenging. Yeah, so that's pretty much what I'm doing.
How can what's the best way people can learn more about you, follow you? Maybe not stalk you, but follow you.
So if you want to learn more about the YouTube channel, it's Sisters in Arms, a Firearms Story. That's how you find us. And again, it's Sisters in Arms 2022 at gmail.com. If you want to learn more about Armed Men of America, you can just email me at the same email and I can give you some more information regarding that as well. And of course, if you're listening and you live in Massachusetts and you want to learn more about how to advocate and educate and be more proactive with protecting our civil rights, definitely reach me out, contact me at that email again. Being part of Women for Gun Rights at the DC Project, it's free, and I have about 70 women, but I need active women to really start going forward because we really do have this egregious bill coming at us.
Mhm.
And we don't know which way we're going. And I honestly think that there's going to be legal ramifications that are going to take place. And
These
it's
politicians
kind
are out of control.
Raising money for the court
Yeah.
case. Yeah.
yeah,
these-
yep,
Get someone to be damaged by it so that you have a plaintiff. And
yep. And again, if you do live in Mass and you want to learn more about gun owners actually goal, you can email me at that email as well.
so
And we
you
can
have
try to
you have your hands in so many things. Which website do you want me to put at the bottom of the screen? See, that's the question. Which website do we put at the bottom for the entire show?
The website.
Yeah. The old
Um,
www dot.
You need to do
I
like me
know.
and just get one domain name for everything so you can have everything on there.
Yeah, Matt Mallory or Mallory Limited, right?
Mallory Unlimited.
Oh, unlimited. Yeah, I guess limited would be less than, right?
Yeah.
So I would have to say it's going to be Ways to Be Empowered, and I will give you the link for that. I'll send it to you guys so you can
Cool.
put that on there.
Perfect.
But yeah, Ways to Be Empowered, because no matter what, you can get to me with that, and I can give you information regarding everything else that I do.
Cool.
Nice.
But yeah.
So Matt, where are you going to be in the next couple weeks?
So here in New York, teaching the 18-hour class and doing security guard. I've got a fun gun shoot, full auto, 3-round burst, 50 BMG class coming up, well, next weekend. So after I come back from PA with you, I'll be doing that here locally. And then teaching the 18-hour course about once a week, roughly. I've got the NRA's annual meeting coming up in a couple weeks. I'll be there with you. We'll be recording our episodes there as much as we can. I'm going to be in GunCon in June. We're going to be going to GunCon to for the show. John Patterson wanted us to come out there and do some PR and stuff for them. And supposed to be going up to Minnesota to do some classes right after that. But
Minnesota.
I might be going to I might be going to Saber's headquarters. David Nance, the owner of Saber, wants me to train all of his employees at both locations, both in Chicago and in Missouri.
That's fantastic, dude.
He wants me to actually teach the 3-hour course, their 3-hour course to his employees.
That's awesome.
It's pretty cool.
You got your hands in a lot of stuff too.
Trying to organize that. Well, yeah. Trying to get the garden in. So it's in between classes, trying to get the garden in.
Yeah, I got a lot of private classes coming up, but I have the 3 seminars at NRA annual meeting in Texas. So I got 1 seminar per day.
And I'm going to sit in on every one of them.
Yeah, sit in and you could like heckle me and throw peanuts or something.
Oh, I got to get my media pass.
Throw coins and maybe I will like sing for you.
I was going to have dollar bills.
No, dollar bills work good. Yeah. And then I've got, of course, I have dates on the PDN, the Personal Defense Network training tour this year. So I've got some classes in Pennsylvania, in Delaware, in Maine, or not in Maine, excuse me, in Maryland. So
how many states have you been to so far per year? Have you added it up?
Oh, I have that data. I publish it on the Trigger Pressers group every year.
And it's gotten more since you've been with the company.
With the day job, yes. But most of those states were ones that the biggest one that I just recently picked up was Maine. I had never taught in Maine before, so that was kind of cool.
Neat.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I'm going back up there. I'm optimistic that I will somehow magically see a moose.
Yeah.
Oh, they're so amazing.
Yeah, I'm still probably a little bit south where the class is, but who knows? Maybe I get a chance to drive around and maybe take a couple-hour drive. Maybe I can see a moose.
They have moose tours.
Yeah, I've been told, and actually in Gray, Maine, I guess they have one that's in a cage you can go look at. But I want to see. Well, not necessarily.
Moose.
I don't think it's in like a cage, but they have like one there that's in like a park that you can go look at. Like
we did a moose tour and we saw a mom and her baby.
Aw.
Did you know that the moose is the most dangerous animal in North America?
No, it's like hippos. People don't think hippos
hurt more people than big cats and grizzly bears combined.
When you hit them with the car, it usually is not good.
I have a whole new way of looking at bullwinkle.
Yeah.
I like to go to Maine for the racks and Massachusetts for the crabs.
There you go.
Oh man, don't get me started. Maybe we should start talking about Biden again. I tell you what, let me just, before we start to wrap up, I just want to say that, everyone has a place to put their firearm when it's not on their body. I use the Vault-Tec Life Pod.
And
it's a pretty cool box, man. That's a fantastic product. And
I gotta get me one of those. How can I get me one of those?
Go to vaulttech.com, I believe is the website.
Vault-Tec.
They're a sponsor of the PDN training tour this year.
Nice.
So, we have sponsors on the show here. Got some fantastic sponsors we work with for years, like Next Level Training and Saber and Mantis.
Yep. Oh yeah, I'm a Mantis dealer.
Yeah, nice. and Henry and Car Arms and. But we also I've got sponsors with the Personal Defense Network tour, and Vault-Tec's been one for quite a while. Canik, I got turned on to Canik through the PDN training tour. Man, I've not seen thousands of those guns on the range like I have Glocks or M&Ps or things like that. But so far, man, they've been running nearly flawlessly, and for the price point, you can't beat it. And everything that comes with the gun, and it's a really high quality gun.
I love it. I love mine. Absolutely love mine.
Yeah, for an import, I think it rivals the quality of a lot of the domestically made firearms, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And the PD-10, I got a new PD-10, which is Rob's company, Avidity Arms, and it's designed to be a deep concealment gun, very very thin single stack.
Oh, I've seen that. Yep.
The grip angle, I really like the grip angle. It's very Glock-esque. Nice. So, for a lot of people, it points very naturally just going to full extension if you're a full extension type.
How does that differ from the original one? Is that more like a 43X?
No, his original one, it's pretty true. I mean, there's obviously been some changes inside. The trigger, his prototype trigger was a little bit lighter than his production trigger.
Oh, okay.
At least that's kind of what I felt when I shot it. But it's a nice gun. I've got quite a few rounds through it, and definitely if I need to be deep concealed, it's very, very thin, and I can just. And now it's even concealing better because I've actually lost a few pounds, Matt.
You have? I've gained some. I gained your lost.
I've been doing the intermittent fasting. So like I eat at 5 o'clock and then I don't eat the rest of the time. And I did a seminar for Representative Abby Major, a gun law seminar about a month ago. And I got the pictures back and I literally felt like I looked like Homer Simpson. And I had just hit like 230 on the scale. It was like bouncing 229.30. I'm like, I'm not doing this again. Years ago when I did those videos for NRA, I was like 240. And I had done a class with Rob, one of his like inside two arms reach kind of grappling classes, and I was just winded.
Yeah.
And I said, man, in the debrief, like I can't. Basically, if I can't use my firearm and I have to roll around with somebody, I'm gonna have a heart attack. And he says, well, and this is Rob talking. He says, well, fat ass, do something about it. I'm like, okay. So I lost.
Thanks, Rob.
I changed my diet then, and I got back down to like
honest.
2-0 something, which is about my best weight. And over the years, and then with COVID and stuff, it just started slowly creeping back up. But yeah, I'm down to, when I last checked yesterday, I was like between 215 to 216. So if I get down to 2-0 something, I'm feeling pretty good about myself there.
Nice.
You just had a thumb on your screen. How the heck?
Yeah, I don't know where that came from.
I don't either. I think the software is just saying good job.
Oh, good job. There
Good
you go.
job. Yeah, good
Maybe
job.
it saw me do a thumb and it's doing it.
Maybe.
Anyhow, well, there you have it. So, but before we wrap it up, just one thing. We do these in meetings a lot of time at the day job. Like, what's one thing this last week that you were just kind of proud and excited about? It could be work related, it could be personal, but just one thing, real quick.
I guess I would say getting promoted to senior master instructor for Sabre. I think
that's pretty bitching,
that's
dude.
pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. What about you, Kerrie?
Trying to help somebody start a women's program.
Oh,
Awesome.
Yeah.
See, now mine's going to sound very selfish. I took second place in the staff match for the gunmakers match with my 3D printed pistol that actually didn't fail. It ran.
Nice.
And I actually was able to cut a card in one shot. I'll put the video on now.
That's awesome.
Better find the dot. I don't even see the dot. There it is.
Let the dot find you. Yeah! Yeah, yeah! He did it.
Was that first shot?
But he shot it with a
first shot. I'll be damned.
First shot.
Yeah.
There's the video.
Good
Yeah.
job.
Yeah,
Nice.
well, there's a lot of luck there, but I had quite a few people say, well, no, it's not just luck. I mean, you got to be able to control deviation a fair bit to pull that off, especially there's the
Your thumb again.
No.
I think somebody's watching this remotely. They're like,
Yeah.
it's awesome.
It's the government. The government's happy I split a card.
Government. So you've inspired me to do the gunmakers match. I just got to get a 3D printer.
Yeah,
Start
get a
the
printer and
process.
try it out. It's a lot of fun. It's a hell of a lot of work, and you can't just go and make a gun.
Yeah.
Although the guys that do it all the time probably can more likely do that much faster than I can. But
Right.
it's really interesting to see because like the second day of the gunmakers match, we kind of have an open line. We've got RSOs there, and people can just bring their guns up, and people can shoot each other's guns, check them out.
Mhm.
And it's just amazing to see some of the innovation.
Yeah. For sure.
Mine's pretty much, I just 3D printed basically a Glock frame.
Glock.
So,
Yeah.
although I'm very proud of that, it wasn't terribly innovative.
Innovative.
But there were some guys there that had recoil systems that were made out of magnets. And I mean, it's just some really, really cool, interesting
Pretty cool.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is
Definitely something to
awesome.
check out. We'll have to
Like-
have Edgar on the show and I can put
Absolutely.
some of the B-roll stuff up from it.
I
that'd be
found
cool.
it's ways to be empowered.com.
Ways to be empowered.com. That's what we will
Yeah.
put at the
Put it up
bottom.
there. Super.
Well,
Well, it was
cool.
awesome having you, Kerrie.
Oh, thank you so much. I could talk for another 3 hours about all sorts of stuff.
We all could, but it's time to. We need to sing the Mouseketeer song. Good night, everyone. Remember how that one?
I know.
The Waltons.
Yeah.
Good night, John Boy.
There you go. There you
Oh.
go.
Now we're aging ourselves.
Yeah, we binge watched that here. That's good, wholesome family entertainment right there.
Yeah.
That and Little House on the Prairie.
Little House on the Prairie.
I love that. Or
Yep,
how about
actually.
Grizzly Adams?
That's a good one too.
Yeah.
That's a good one too.
Yeah. I like the Dukes of Hazzard too.
I
Oh,
tell you
yeah.
what, I went back and watched a few episodes of Dukes of Hazzard, and my 10-year-old self would be disappointed with what I'm about to say.
Yeah.
I was like, and I shut it off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
agree.
shut it off.
It's like Roadhouse. I watched the new Roadhouse and I'm like, yeah, that wasn't that bad. I mean, some people are like, it sucked. And I'm like, well, let's compare it to the old one. I watched the old one. I'm like,
Oh, the old one is a classic, dude.
yeah, it's
Right?
a classic, but like, you look how good movies are today.
Do
and you
not eat the
compare it
big
to
white
that.
mint.
I mean, I liked it. There's a lot of TNA in there too. I forgot how much nudity was in that.
Yeah, but it's equal opportunity. That's one that you can watch with your wife, and she enjoys it just as much as you do because it's got Patrick Swayze in it.
Yeah.
That's right.
God rest
Yeah,
his
so-
soul.
Yeah.
I know,
Yeah, how
poor
about that?
guy.
On that note, be
On
nice
that
to
note,
everybody.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on the show. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you so much. Appreciate
easy.
it. Take care.
Meet the Pressers is brought to you by Mantis X. Mantis X helps shooters suck less. Next Level Training. Makers of CERT training products. Saber Red. Saber Red has been making men and women cry since 1975. Meet the Pressers is also brought to you by these fine companies, shows, and organizations. Thank you.
Make sure to check us out on all the social media platforms, on television, Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV, all the audio platforms, as well as all of the other YouTube, Gunstreamer, etc.
Thank you for watching Meet the Pressers.